Alright folks, it's Plisken by 51mm, and today I figured I'd do a little something different. Of course, last night I uploaded my 1,000 subscriber video, and thank you all again for those of you who haven't seen that video. Thank you all for 1,000 subscribers, it means a lot, and I hope to continue to grow. But today I am out once again in the garage, and with me I have my M1A loaded and my Heritage Rough Rider 22 single action Army. I'll go ahead and get it out so everybody can admire its beauty. Very beautiful handgun. Love it. Both of them are unloaded, by the way. But today's video is kind of a viewer recommended idea type of video. I have a follower by the name of Robert Fisher. He follows me on Instagram, MeWe, and YouTube, and I've been buddies with him for a while. And he suggested to me that a cool thing that I could do for days like today when I've got nothing else going on and it's snowing outside, can't go to the range, is I could do a shit hit the fan type video. You know, talk about shit hit the fan, end of the world type stuff, bug out, boogaloo type things. So I'm giving this my shot. Let's just consider this a test video, and if people enjoy it, and if I feel like it's something I could, you know, do every once in a great while, I might have a little shit hit the fan video that I do and discuss different topics about scenarios of sorts. But today, the first video, I think I'm going to talk about the coronavirus. Simply because that is something right now, currently here on March, let me get my phone out, here on March 14th of 2020, that is weighing pretty heavy on a lot of people's minds, regardless if they are fearful of it or not. You know, I've seen tons of memes today on Instagram. The Canadian gun guy, he's a guy I follow over there. He had his M1A, he has a Norinco M305, and he had a sandbag wall made out of toilet paper, and he was sitting behind it with his M1A. It's pretty funny. But the absolute mass hysteria of this virus is unreal. The media couldn't wait to get their hands on something to create a mass panic. Now, that's not to say COVID-19, the coronavirus, isn't dangerous and it isn't lethal. It certainly is. And it does have a mortality rate. From what I have read, I myself have heard it so much these past couple days, if the coronavirus comes up, I just kind of tune it out because I hear so much of it. And it's so nutsy, and the hysteria about it, because that's all anybody on the news talks about, whether you're watching Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. You know, I drop in on them every once in a while. That's all they talk about. And it's just getting old, and I'm getting tired of hearing about it. But from what I've read, now this is what I've read, this thing, the information on this thing seems to change by the minute. But from what I've read, it gives you like flu-like symptoms, a headache, I believe, and then like in severe cases, diarrhea and shortness of breath. I could be wrong about that, but I'm not focusing on that right now. The mass hysteria is what I'm more talking about. People are collectively, I guess in a sense, losing their minds over it. Even out here where I live. I live out here in the middle of nowhere. Technically. Where my town is located, basically out in the middle of the boonies. The whole town. Not just, you know, where my physical neighborhood is. The whole town's out in the boonies. In Indiana, but out in the boonies. And our local Walmart has a shortage on toilet paper. And the chances of the coronavirus coming here to my certain county, my particular county, while the chances are never zero, it's pretty low. And same with our schools. Our schools are closed here. And while I don't think that any of this is shit hit the fan worthy, I would say, but it's still cause for concern, because I had a discussion with my dad the other day, and he is saying, of course he watched it, and it seems they go back and forth, the media does. It's like it goes from like biblical end of days type deal to, oh, you shouldn't be worried. And really it's just like, well, it's like, you know, if you don't know something about it, don't say it. But apparently nobody's getting that message. And he was saying they was thinking about shutting down, well, one schools, and then he heard something about maybe businesses that aren't like very high-end mandatory are going to shut down. And like, you know, just a cascading effect of jobs, people not showing up for work, because colleges and public schools are shut down. The NBA canceled its whole season, and the I'm trying to think of what else shut down. Church services shut down. I'm sure all this information has either changed, or whatever I'm talking about is probably not shut down anymore at this point. But I came up with a scenario in my head, just thinking like, well, you got all these people that are out of work, and then you got everybody like bum rushing the stores, panic buying food. And I did see a thing last night before I went to bed that the food industry was having a little freak out, saying that you shouldn't be panic buying your food because the production rate can't keep up, or something to that effect. Hell, I can't remember. I watched it last night, but I was so tired, I was like, it kind of went over my head. But I do remember that, like they're saying that you shouldn't buy like a month's worth of food to, you know, for a 2-week quarantine. The same with toilet paper too. But I had a theory with my dad. I was thinking, like in that scenario there where he's telling me the other day, where they was thinking about shutting down businesses as a whole. I was like, well, all these people will be out of work, and then the food panic buying would start with the toilet paper and whatnot, and it was like, that could end up being a real big shit hit the fan scenario, because your neighbor would, like, you know, in desperation, could possibly try to break into your house. But that's about as far as it got for me. Personally, I don't know where the coronavirus sits on shit hit the fan level. The lights are still on. I mean, you can see the lights from the garage, and I can reach over here and turn this light on underneath the cabinet up here. And people are still driving to and from work. Somebody just drove by right now. The power hasn't went out, and people aren't running to the streets screaming and crying and going nuts. So it hasn't gotten to that point yet, and I hope it doesn't, but you know, anything's possible. But for a shit hit the fan scenario, this one's ranking pretty low. Now, I don't know about bigger cities, because like I said, I'm out here in Cornfield. But around here, it doesn't seem to be too bad, hysteria and panic-wise. Now, there's been allocations that I've been hearing that COVID-19 is a bioweapon. Well, now, whether it was made by China or the U.S., who knows? And I'm not editing that burp out either. I'm leaving it in because, you know, I'm just talking about shit hit the fan. But whether or not it's a bioweapon or not, I've heard conflicting stories and theory. Of course, the conspiracy theorists got a hold of this and are now running with it like it's candy on Halloween, like they do everything. And typically, all facets of media and and thought have got a hold of the COVID-19 and have went out of their minds. But the thought of it being a bioweapon, I don't see it. Because if this is a bioweapon, its mortality rate's pretty low in comparison to the flu. The flu kills thousands each year regularly. In the United States, 28 to 30,000 people die from just regular flu. Now, the regular flu is a type of coronavirus, but it's far more lethal than COVID-19. COVID-19, the thing with it is it spreads easier. You could have it and spread it for 2 weeks before you yourself start showing any symptoms. That is the part where they're freaking out on it. But for a bioweapon, in my mind, it's a pretty poor bioweapon because it's it's not really doing anything other than causing mass hysteria. And I could see that could be a thing for a bioweapon to create fear. But I just don't see it being a bioweapon. I see this as some kind of like the Black Plague type deal, or the Spanish flu. Not necessarily man-made or not man-made, but it's not as lethal as those other two I mentioned. But me myself, I'm not really too anxious or fearful of the coronavirus. I am washing my hands more when I get back from interactions out in the store and going outside. I do wash my hands every time I come back, but I had already been doing that ever since, for common flu for years now. But I am, attentively washing my hands more. But I myself am not freaking out. When I would start freaking out would be when there's a large volume of cases in my hometown. That's when I myself would freaking out's the wrong word. Being more aware of it, I should say. And I don't have no plans to bug out, but I do have retaliation, as you can see here with these fine firearms here. I have retaliation in case the need arises, but I always have these on standby for home defense scenarios anyway. So anyway, personally, hopefully I think this will end up like the regular flu, and that it will be by the 4th of July this year, when we're all out on the front porch, back porch, or at our friends' bonfires, and we're all eating hot dogs, roasting s'mores, and blowing stuff up, and shooting fireworks off, and maybe going out shooting guns into wood piles or whatnot, like me and my friends did a few years ago on the 4th of July party. We had big old intermingled firework gun fun shooting type day at one of my buddies' places. Hopefully, I think by then the coronavirus will be a long distant memory, and it won't be as bad, and it will have faded off into irrelevancy by then. But who knows? That's what I see, because I heard that in China the spreads died down, but that's China, Who's to say? But I'm staying optimistic. I don't think we have anything to worry about, and I think by next fall everything will have returned to normal, and this will have all been just a big old panic, hysteria, and running around with our heads chopped off for a little bit type thing. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. My basis for shit hit the fan videos. I'm rusty. This is my first time trying a shit hit the fan video. So tell me what you think. If you think it's something you'd like to hear more of, like a shit hit the fan scenario for me, like different scenarios or whatnot, comment down below. Tell me what you thought. And every now and then, on days that's crappy, and I ain't got nothing else going on, I could make a shit hit the fan video for, you know, discussion type purposes. Well, anyway, guys, see you guys all in the next video. Hopefully in my next video, well, it might be a few videos from now, but I will be doing a cleaning video on the Heritage Rough Rider. See you all in the next video.